Hello and welcome back to KeeleCast. I'm Carmel and today I'm at Keele's Creative Futures Fair. I'll be finding out how students are preparing each other to turn their passions into a career outside of Keele University.
My name's Aaliyah Gardner. I'm Community Coordinator for Earth Stories Film Festival.
Perfect. What is Earth Stories? What do you guys do?
So we are an environmental international film festival, an entirely student-led initiative, and we judge films that come in from all around the world, and then at the end of the year we put on a big award ceremony showcasing the winning films.
Oh, wonderful. Out of interest, how long has this been going for?
We're in our 4th year, so we founded Earth Stories in 2022.
Wonderful. How does creativity fit into Earth Stories as a whole?
Creativity is really important, as you can imagine. In a film festival, there's a lot of creativity, not just in terms of the films, but also in terms of organising the final event and organising the festival itself. Creativity is kind of a really central idea and value that we need.
I mean, absolutely. There's no better way to get an idea across than that. In terms of outside the university, these skills that you're gathering, are they preparing you for, well, how do you feel they're preparing you?
I think it's really a vital asset to kind of anyone's student life at Keele. I mean, it's really important to be involved in extracurricular activities outside of your general lectures and things anyway. I think when I came to uni, my CV was pretty bland. And now that I've been doing the festival for 4 years, you know, I kind of struggle to keep my CV to 2 pages. I've learnt so many skills while organising the festival and being part of the initiative. I think it's really set me up for my future career.
That is wonderful to hear. Can you see yourself doing something like this in the future? Is this something you'd like to continue?
Yes, definitely. I mean, when I started Earth Stories, I was doing it completely voluntarily. We do have some students do it as a work placement, and I've managed to work my way up, and I'm now in a paid role for Earth Stories, so I'm paid for 2 days a week to help organise and run the festival. And we're looking at setting up the festival as a CIO, which will mean we can apply for wider funding, which means that potentially this could be a full-time role for me in a few years.
Oh my goodness, that sounds fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I wish you the absolute best of luck. Thanks. We are here with Make Some Noise, and who are you? Who am I talking to?
My name is Tegan. I'm from Make Some Noise, and I am a program support worker, which essentially means that all the programs that we offer out to the public or through our funders, I'm there to help them support and get the most out of it.
Wonderful. And what is Make Some Noise? What do you guys do?
So we are a well-being and creative charity that uses music and movement and all sorts of arts and creative ways to engage with young people in the community, so that they can experience things that they may not have access to due to funding or their status or anything like that.
You mentioned creativity. How important is that in your role? Like, what do you guys,
It's massively important. I think creativity is such a massive outlet for people, especially young people, to get all the things that they think about out into the world through so many different forms of media, music, movement, dancing. There's so many ways that they can express themselves, and I think that creativity is so important to young people.
Do students play a role in shaping how creativity is delivered in these sessions?
Absolutely. So we're always looking to get feedback from our participants, and most of them are of school age, so they are always welcome to give us feedback on their ideas, their thoughts, what they liked, what they didn't like. And then another massive one, that being here at Keele, we take on Keele University students as placement students, and they massively come in and help us to expand our programs and do delivery or offerings that we normally wouldn't have the capacity to do. So yeah, we're always looking for student voice to be heard in our programs.
Incredible. And is there anything you would suggest to new students looking to join the creative field nowadays?
Just try things. I think it's massively important for young people to just give everything that they can a go and see what they like. I mean, I come from a predominantly sports background and never thought I would be in a creative field, and yet I've just given it a go, and it's just such an incredible experience to see how people can engage with creativity and arts to express themselves and figure out who they want to be in life.
That is incredible. You guys are doing great work. I wish you the best of luck, and thanks for talking to me. Thank you for your time. I am now with Craft Society. Who are you guys? What do you do?
So we're Keele Craft Society. Each week we do a different craft. It's a really nice community project. Everybody does their own thing. Some people take them home, some people share them out between their friends. It's a good way to sort of take a creative 2 hours out of your day.
I've been a few times. It's a really lovely environment. It is very, very pleasant.
Sorry, I knew I recognized you.
Yes. Yes, yeah. That's where I'm from. Yeah.
I knew it.
It's a pleasure to see you all again.
It's lovely to see you.
It's a lovely environment. It's very casual, even though it is so drop in, drop out, easy breezy, as it were. Yeah. Would you say, what skills are you learning by going there?
The skills, it's more of a communication aspect than a physical skills. We do have sessions where we teach like fiber arts, like crochet, knitting, and things like that, but generally it's more of a social experience than a technical experience.
I see. Even so, what does creativity mean to you and your society?
Well, creativity is the fundamental part of the society. And everybody is creative, and some people do need a little push to help them be more creative, but it's really lovely to see people develop in their creativity like over the weeks that they come.
Exactly. Well, absolutely. It is really, really enjoyable. Outside of Keele then, would you say that these are skills like taking time for yourself that you could use elsewhere?
Yeah, I would say that the skills that you learn are along the lines of taking time for yourself, some mindfulness, and we do also teach things like basic sewing skills, which we're having a session in a few weeks to teach those. And they will all be quite useful outside of a university environment, just in day-to-day.
Wonderful. And what about yourself? In terms of graduating and moving on from Keele, is your experience on committee for Craft Society something you could bring into future career plans? Would you want to pursue it?
Yes, it's the leadership aspect has been incredible, and the same with the teamwork. I prefer to run my committee as a team, so we all work together. All of our projects are like communal, collaborative. Yeah. So it's a very nice sort of environment to develop working skills, as well as like realize the skills that you're not as good at, and then work on those as a team with somebody who may or may not be better than you at it.
Creativity does, after all, lead into some fantastic teamwork, and it is always lovely to see that. I think that's all we have for you. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck. Best of luck to you guys. I'm with a cappella now, and who are you? Tell me about yourself.
Hello, I'm Charlotte, so I'm Secretary for the A Cappella Society. We're with Junie, who's Treasurer, and Vanshi, who is the Chair.
Wonderful. Hey, Vanshi.
Hello.
Lovely to be here with you guys. Now, tell me about your society. What do you do?
We're quite a chill music society. We often get a lot of people who go to different groups, and they're all really, really good. But what I like about ours is we're very, very wholesome. We don't tend to be massive. So when people want to do a particular solo or something like that, we can tend to incorporate it in. We do 3 major performances in the year, but we get asked to do other events, a bit like today. And I think quite a lot of the time, warm-ups, we break into groups and have a little sing-song, come out together, and we sound quite nice. So yeah, that's the general vibe.
Wonderful. Anything to add?
I would like to say that we are I would define us as sitting in a circle around a cozy campfire and just singing together. That is sort of what the vibe our society brings. It's just sort of a chill spot for you to just come around and sing. Even if you just want to sing, it doesn't matter what level of singing you consider yourself to be at. We at A Cappella believe that anybody can sing, so we are just a fun, inclusive singing ensemble for anybody who likes to sing in the shower. Just join us around our little fire.
That is absolutely lovely. Naturally, you guys, you're all singers, you're all artists in your own right. What does creativity mean to you and your society?
To me personally, it's all about problem solving. I do a sciencey degree, and a lot of the time people assume it doesn't link, and actually it links a lot. And also the amount of times I'm just caught singing in my office when I'm stuck on something is quite high, which is quite funny. But for the society, it's just really lovely. A lot of us will be doing very, very different things, and then to come together and do something that's like as a group but creative and fun, and to hear how the music breaks down and then we break it, sort of build it back up. That's pretty nice.
Wonderful. And yourself?
So I do a very sciencey degree as well. I do human biology with data science, which like two different sciencey degrees, two sciences completely different from another. But during my time at uni, I have discovered that there is a lot of similarities in all these sciences because like they're all about problem solving and creativity. I have worked a bit in science communications as well, so I have really seen upfront how creativity mingles with sciences, how you can like break down very complex scientific concepts to simple audiences just by creativity, by making an art piece about it, by making graphics and stuff. So I think that creativity is sort of a tool to spread knowledge very easily. And for the society, I would say problem solving comes quite handy. Like problem solving is a way we approach music a lot. So like if we are learning a new piece, there is a lot of thinking about whose voice does this particular section of a song fit, or whose voice would this particular, like whose voice group would this particular song best fit for. So things like that. I'm rambling a bit now, but I would say what Charlotte said earlier, it's a lot about problem solving, about thinking about how we can incorporate a certain thing into our daily lives.
That's wonderful. Like, wow, creativity's already helped you guys with so much. These are incredible skills to have. How would they transfer outside of the university?
Lots of ways. So the classic one I tend to find is like stress relief is quite good, and I'll often be humming like an a cappella song or something, and it's funny because like we get the most stress just before a performance, and then after that point I'm like, oh, we know this song, this is fine, oh, we can do this, and then applying that to other parts. As you keep saying, like problem solving, and that's a lot of the time you kind of learn how to communicate slightly differently as well, because you've got to recognize very literally like what is the song, what are the breakdown parts, what do you put back together, and that's not really how my brain works, so it's quite nice to see a different way of doing it.
Lovely. And for yourselves, can you see yourselves doing a cappella beyond university? Is this something you'd like to pursue further in your careers, even though you are doing heavily scientific things, even as a hobby, you know?
Yeah, I hope I'm always doing something musical. It's quite funny because I describe it as having sausage fingers when it comes to instruments, but then singing was like the one. I enjoyed singing before I was any good at singing, and I hope that I enjoy it well after I'm really terrible at it. So it's the kind of thing that I hope I never like lose it. I think music is a big part of everyone's life, and it brings a different kind of joy. Or if you're even trying to, it's like the classic meme of like listening to sad songs to feel sadder because that's the mood you're in. Like it kind of gives you another way of interacting with life.
Absolutely. And you?
I would agree with Charlotte again. I keep saying this to all the questions, but Charlotte... I know, but Charlotte is so smart. Look at Charlotte. Okay, so I don't think I would be doing a cappella as a career as such, but it would definitely be a big part of my life. I love listening to music a lot, and like just listening to my favorite artists, singing along to them, going to concerts and seeing them live is like a huge part of my life. It inspires me to be creative, and then it again helps with stress relief and just to connect with so many people who sort of have similar values and similar thinking as you. So music is never going away from my life.
That is wonderful. Even if you aren't pursuing it professionally, I think we can all agree that creativity has a massive role to play in well-being and life beyond just a student, you know? Anyway, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. I wish you both all the best, all three of you, actually. Hello. There are three of you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. We are here to talk about pottery, I do believe. Well, again, tell us what you do.
Fantastic. My name is Sally Fitchard, and I'm a clay sculptor. So I predominantly work in clay, that's my medium, but I also deliver workshops across the city within primary and secondary education and with adults as well.
Lovely. Now, what does creativity mean for your business? I suppose it relies quite heavily on it, but for you as a person as well.
So creativity is my business. It's everything that I do 24/7. So it's all about the flexibility of mind, your curiosity, problem solving, exploring the world. I can often sit in my kitchen or my studio and I feel like I've gone around the globe, because one of the things that's really important about what I do with children and young people is that I give them examples of what they might be able to model in clay, techniques, limitations, their opportunity to be autonomous, but also to give them examples of antiquity, art in antiquity. So at the moment I'm working with Year 3 and we're looking at Stone Age. So we're making clay buildings. I made a cardboard wattle building that the children then daubed with clay, wet clay, so that we had some understanding of how that building might work. And we'll go on to make woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers and all of the flint tools, etc. So that's one kind of very specific project. But there are many others where I will just show children and young people different artists that might be contemporary, different styles. So they just get an idea of who's out there, what they're doing, but understand completely that they don't have to copy any of that. They just need to know that there's all types of inspiration out there for them, whatever their projects and whether they're doing art or not. It's just understanding that the world is full of possibilities and you can be part of that. And that's really what it's about.
Absolutely. Well, you were here today doing a pottery workshop for the uni students here. Even though we've spoken a lot about the younger kids, is it still relevant as you get older and maybe less of a kid and more of a whole adult?
Yeah, well, I think a whole adult actually doesn't let go of the kid in them, because kids are the most experimental and open-minded and expressive of all of us. So you're doing really well as an adult if you can hold on to some of that. You'll be way more fulfilled. So yeah, I'm working with adults today with these drop-in sessions, but exactly the same applies to them. You know, they may be doing courses in engineering or law. These are some of the students that I've met today, but that does not mean that they don't need to be flexible and creative by any stretch within their own subjects. And anything that you do with your hands, any moment that you sit down and you problem solve and you are in charge of what you're doing, you are understanding and reflecting back on who you are, what kind of creative fingerprint you have, how you think, how you problem solve. All of these would apply to any subject that anybody's doing at this university or any other.
That is a beautiful way of putting it, especially in the time of being a uni student when there's so much pressure to go into a career and I suppose succeed, that you can just sit back and be creative. I think it's absolutely wonderful. What advice would you give anyone looking to get into the creative space now? I know you're a very experienced industry voice.
Well, that's an interesting story as well, because actually, although I loved clay when I was at school, it was my favourite place to be in the pottery classroom. And I came to Staffordshire because I went to Staffordshire Polytechnic as it was then, and I did clay. When I graduated, I didn't touch clay for 30 years. This is me regaining my career in the later part, or, older part of my life. And I shall tell you that the reason that happened is because I was doing a science master's in my 40s as part of my work. And once I had secured that, within a year I'd resigned from my post. I was a head of a department and I started from scratch like I was 15 or 16. It was the best decision I ever made. And I have been building my career where I should have been all those years ago. And I just want to point out that narrative still stands now, I believe. But certainly when I was at school, that art was seen as something that you did because maybe you had failed at other things, which I did do. I didn't do very well in my results whatsoever, but that was a lot of disruption in school. And I held on to that narrative. And then all of these years later, my advice to anybody is try and stop for a moment and not listen to anybody else. Try and see yourself. And a brilliant way of doing that is to sit down with some paints or some pens or some pencils or some clay and just be still with yourself, and you will begin to understand more about where your real allegiances and interests lie, and you will be way more fulfilled and way more successful if you can pursue that and make decisions around it.
Oh, that is lovely. That is such a wonderful thing to hear, especially right now. That's a lovely interview. Thank you so much. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. It's been absolutely great, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to everyone here today, and I know they all have great things in store. Thank you so much for listening, and if you think you know a great cause to feature on the show, email myself or the team at the Keele Podcast Studio. I hope you'll join us again soon, but until then, that's all for now. Goodbye.